now. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? All right. A lot of
Good.
answers out there. So,
Mhm.
right now we got a couple people delayed, so they will be hopefully joining us here yet this evening. If not, we're going to go ahead and hopefully we can get through this without anybody dying. At least that's my plan. No
Hopefully.
promises.
Mhm.
So we'll turn off their frames for the meantime. So we not to
Never no
distract.
promises.
Nope. Well, let's go ahead and do the introduction parts, quick ones. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm the GM, DM, storyteller, whatever term you want to use, the guy controlling the NPCs. And that's probably enough about me. We'll move on to the other two people right now, and that would be Tomie playing Damaris. How are you tonight, dear?
I am hot because I'm in Georgia and it doesn't know how to behave over here. Hi, my name is Tomie. I am playing Damaris, who is a now a witch level 1, so she's a rogue. Last episode, she was the one who jumped directly into battle and thankfully did not die in the process. And this time around, we are collecting information or getting an update next. So we'll see how she deals with that.
Yep. That's the plan at least. And then Owen, our Bremer, our dwarven fighter or warrior or whatever we want to call him. I'm not quite sure. Little of both, because he was talking about spells.
Local.
You're listing all spells earlier.
How are you doing, sir?
Good. A little cold.
A little cold.
Yeah, northern Canada, so.
The opposite. Got you.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get down into lower, upper 30s, lower 40s tonight. So sorry you're getting cooked over there, Tomie. So, but at least you don't have winter like we do.
I have like what 2 weeks of winter.
We get 2 weeks of summer.
There.
All right, so let's do a quick recap of last adventure. Last session, the group of adventurers met at a bar. Well, they shouldn't say met at the bar. They went to a tavern to find out about a job, to locate some missing friends.
Yeah.
Rumor that somebody was hiring. And you found Sergeant Elise. She is a... Oh, here, I've updated some of her stuff so we can show the players. She is part of the Browncoats, which is city police, for lack of a better term. Also, another group of note to know about is the militia, which usually protects the city from the outside, and they are quite common around the city too. But they usually, like I said, are patrolling outside and protecting the city, where the brown coats are protecting our brown cloaks.
Cloaks.
Yes, sorry. A little too much Firefly in my history there, so. But the brown cloaks are the police force per se, and they really weren't doing their job investigating these disappearances. And Sergeant Elise, who is actually from the community in this area, took it upon herself to investigate, but is limited and hired you guys to help her. And in the course of your investigation, it led you to the Moore House. And there, after brief exploration and a very evil stench, you found your way to the basement and were confronted with a monster that frightened you all. Well, all except for one person. And I took his name down and I can't remember what it was.
Zachariah?
Zachariah. And Zachariah was the only one who passed his fright test, and he threw a spell off, hoping to defend him away. And well, the rest of y'all ran, but he didn't. That one heartbeat stayed too long, and well, he's no longer among the living. But you guys ran and got the guards. They quickly ran back there because you said you had found all the missing people and a bunch of bodies and a monster. A short while later, a few hours later, whatever, you met up with Sergeant Elise again and quite battered. And she said she would talk to you in a couple days. And she gave you some payment, and that's kind of where we left off, more or less.
Pretty much.
You guys were breaking up and going your separate ways for the evening or morning, I think it was. Well, no, this was later afternoon because you went during the daylight hours.
Yeah.
Each of you heading home, or I'm assuming some location. Where might you have been going? I know that
Church to pray.
Yep.
And by pray, I mean the church of revel, so drink.
Yeah. Show worship.
Yes.
Roast to revelry.
Form of worship, so.
And Bremer, since I don't have much of a background on you, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Tavern. Forget about the monster.
Makes sense. Now, each of you has a place to stay, I assume.
Of course.
Okay. Now you got a couple days to do your own thing or wander or follow up on any leads or stuff here. Is there anything you want to do in a let's say a day and a half time period? Maybe 2 days. The night you're going there, full day, and then later, and then following day.
I didn't think ahead. You go first, Bermir.
Or take a moment, no rush.
Yeah.
Just to go remind a few things. There was a abandoned chapel. Follow up at the Moore House if you wish to. Your own backgrounds, you have stuff too. I don't know.
Who's his name? Who had his arm and leg chopped off? Is he still alive? Or
Yes, they did
does he just kind of
recover him, but he was insane, and that was
Yeah.
Father Gregory.
Yeah. Like what's his current is he uninsane or just gonna be insane and that's it?
He currently, well, in the time period it currently is, he is. I have to look up in the district where that is. What the name of it, the place is. He is currently at the Mercy Hill Asylum / hospital because he had his legs, at least what you visibly saw. You don't, his arm and leg were chopped off. So
being eaten.
The ghoul was down there and there were corpses there. Obviously, I mean, you guys had limited light and visibility, but you could see the rotting and smelling of the corpses. You had heard something also in that vault in the center of the room. But you never got a chance to see it.
Yeah, we're not going to go back there until we're told to go back there and that it's safe.
Okay. But back to where this was going, I mean, did you guys have anything you're planning to do over the course of the next day and a half? Just personal-wise?
Bermir's going to go check out the chapel. The abandoned chapel.
Well, it isn't so much abandoned as now Father Gregory is now at the asylum and nobody's watching it.
Yep.
When you investigated last time, you had found some personal belongings, a holy symbol hanging on the wall. There was I can't think of the term they use, but the plaque with the holy inscription on it that was basically a scroll. But that
Bermir.
was with Zachary.
Yep. Bermir is going to gather up all Father Gregory's belongings and pack it all into some sort of container.
Okay. I remember amongst his stuff there was the military uniform and a pistol.
From his son.
Yep. I'm just reminding you that
Yep.
was one other thing there too. If you look around, you will, if you want to go ahead and roll a d6, that's how many silver pieces worth of change you'll find around.
Damaris was electing not to
Okay.
rob him.
I never said that I was robbing him.
I know.
Oh, that's 6.
Yeah, so you found an accumulation of 6 silver pieces worth of coinage in the donation box and among other things.
Yeah, he's going to put that into the crate with all of the other Father Gregory's stuff.
Okay.
And he's going to make a bed and go to sleep.
Are you going to use Father Gregory's room, or are you going to use the bunkhouse or bunk room across the way?
He'll
Across
use
the
the
hall.
bunk room across the way.
Okay. All right. And I assume you're going to use that for a residence for a while?
Yep, using it for residence.
Okay. Now we're going to go over to Damaris. I mean, you have a home to go to.
She has a home and she has work and she has church and 2 churches and she has a lot of things that she can do.
Are you going to be doing anything in particular? Or are you just trying to get over what you saw?
Trying to mostly keep herself busy and not like, she saw what was it?
A
Was he
ghoul?
crucified on the wall? Or
Oh,
was
it
he
was
like
basically split open. I can't think of but it looks like they're split open in the
Yeah,
ribs, and yeah. And
yeah.
it was just everything was hanging there.
Getting over that. We're just gonna
Yeah.
distract ourselves with other things that need to be done. We're gonna work, we're gonna get money, we're gonna drink a lot, be fine.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an idea of everybody's personality and how they work here. So, Damaris is familiar with the upper parts of the city, or the upper class parts of the city, having worked banquet halls and things there, correct? So
Hmm.
you're familiar with some of the names of people. So that'll come in a little handy later on. But Bremer, what is some of your background, since don't have, well, I can open your sheet, I guess.
Sophie, you'll be like, his background would be similar with most dwarves in this period of time, where his home fortress is overrun and he's now wandering around the northern reach trying to survive
Okay.
and kind of reclaim the glory of the old days of dwarves.
Okay. Uh, well, you guys have like a day to spend to yourself doing whatever you want. Damaris, if you want to go ahead and roll a d6 also, that you can get some change that you picked up during odd jobs or whatever you may be doing, so you'll have some spending money additionally.
Yeah, what am I rolling?
1d6. I know it's probably but you maybe got a tip working a banquet hall or
No.
your other
One.
side business. Oh, it's the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, the opposite. No, the 1.
Well, you probably made a decent money, but you had your revelry, pay the
I had to spend it
donate
immediately.
donations, exactly, for the wine to help you forget.
Exactly.
Now you have another habit, do you not?
Yep, that's part of it.
Okay.
And yes, we are.
All right. So, but I mean, you had a full day, and well, later in the afternoon of the second day, each of you gets a message either through a little street urchin running up and handing you a note, or finding you however they may. Sergeant Elise wants to meet you back at the, and I drew a blank on the name again.
Same tavern or another one?
Yeah, same tavern. The Fallen Soldier.
Yes.
Yes.
This evening again, after she's done with work.
Absolutely.
You're assuming all of you, well, at least you two for sure got it. Excuse me.
Our third will be showing up in a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Drop the message in general. He'll stumble in late.
No problem. I figured it was something like that. Time schedules and time zones, always fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, no rush. But we'll catch him up. We ain't too far ahead. So,
No.
but you guys get your message, and any prep before you go? Anything you're gonna do? I'm just asking to make sure you guys have an opportunity.
Depends on what you ask for, so just gonna show
okay.
up.
Yeah, I'm just in.
Vermeer is going to look for some better clothes.
Fair.
You can easily find shops in town during the day. There's a whole market district, so if you want to walk and find something. I mean, there's definitely some secondhand places and so forth, so it wouldn't cost that much for you, depending on what type of clothing you're going for.
Things without holes.
Yes, things without holes, exactly. Clothing basics of 5 CP.
Okay. Yeah, I just figured there's
Yeah.
this is a big enough town, there won't be an issue to do any shopping for general items like that. So, and even if you know the right people in the right places, you can get some of the black market stuff easily enough in a big town. I'm assuming you guys will be going to meet Sergeant Elise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you get there early? Get there on time? Late? She said she usually gets off around 9ish.
Just last time.
Vermeer will get there early.
Just like last time, also early.
Yeah. And this time, Quirin nods his head as you come in. And he asks, "What do you want?" And he needs, "What do you want to drink?"
Something strong.
All right. As long as you don't
Surprise
ask
me.
too many questions. And you. And he's looking over the bar down at you from your Mr. Dorf.
Something stronger.
He smiles. Do you sell it by the barrel?
The keg barrel, I don't. Depends on what you're drinking. But here, he pulls out a bottle of what looks to be like a very dark brown liquor, and he pours it out, and it smells strong. I mean, if you smelt like 151 almost, it smells that kind of almost gasoline,
Oh.
kerosene scent.
Yeah.
You said strong,
Mhm.
and he forged you about 3 fingers in an all well. Maybe it was clean earlier today.
Fair. Where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're here for Elise, aren't you?
Yep.
She should be in soon. I thank you for finding our friends, even though it was a little too late. This one's on me.
Thank you. She's looking at it, still hesitating. Of like, do I actually want to?
And depending on what you do or not do, but eventually a short while later, Sergeant Elise wanders in. She sees you as she comes in and nods her head towards the corner where she was last time, and she heads that way.
And she stands up, goes to the bar. I mean, goes away from the bar to that corner.
Yep. And she says, "Well, we're gonna take a little trip here shortly." Ah, Jordan, you showed up. Hey, let me get you in
Hey.
here. Just a moment, people. Let me get our
Yeah.
one more in here. I hope you had a good nap, sir. Time zones happen.
I don't see him.
I hear him, and now I'm seeing him. I have to center him a little better.
I don't see him on video.
I'm seeing him, so I can't.
I need to restart.
Can you hear him though?
Maybe.
I'm not
don't
hearing
hear
the
him.
others at all.
I
It
can't hear
says
him
two
either.
unknown users for me. Am I gonna have to reload the thing?
I see you on screen. They don't hear you. Make sure you got nothing toggled mute. Make sure.
Yeah, I see him on Twitch.
let me
I don't
try
see him
reloading
on video.
Maybe that'll work.
What was that?
I was saying let me try reloading the video, see if that'll work, because I can't see or hear.
Should I refresh?
He's the one having problems, so I'm assuming I can see all of you, but I have a different mode. I'm in the director's view.
Yeah,
Got
so
you,
Moment, don't
because
go far.
I only see you and Owen and myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give him a second. He's reloading.
Not visible. There we go.
Now you see him?
Yes, he's starting up. Not visible. Unknown user.
That is so
Who is
weird.
mute?
I'm seeing and hearing him fine.
Can't hear Owen or Tomie, and I can't see Todd.
Restart.
I still don't see him, so
Okay. That's strange.
now I just see you.
Yep. Tomie dropped off to see if she could reconnect. Technical fun, guys, in the real out there.
I think it might be a problem on my end.
Yep, I reloaded and I still can't see him.
How come I'm the only one who sees him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get you. There's a scene transfer setting difference. So I can do some of the stuff on your scene options.
Yeah.
That's weird. We never had a problem. Your mic is in the scene. You're on to scene options.
Yeah, I see him clearly on Twitch and he was speaking. But over here, there's no audio and no visual. And I don't know if they can hear him there. Maybe. Say something.
Right. Try a different mic, or if you can, in a speaker. It says it's on your Biagio system, HU5, whatever. Or am I just reading the way this thing decodes it on our side? Because, yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
I mean, I can try and use my I tried actions.
I mean, everybody's hearing. I mean, you're showing up sound on Twitch, so that's what's weird.
Yeah.
This is Tom saying, yeah, put it into general. He's a not visible unknown user in the corner.
Add to
Yeah, it
scene
says
one.
unknown user for both of them. Yeah, I can only see you, Tim.
I get it. I'm just trying to figure out why this is something new and strange.
Yeah.
Audience
This is
says I
definitely a
can see
problem,
and hear
Maya.
everyone.
Yep, I'm. Yeah, we're just not hearing everybody on
our side. Yeah.
in the chat room that I'm putting up there, and I believe that's probably. I hid the chat again. There it is.
Actually, I tried switching the microphone. Did that work?
I'm hearing you fine either way, so I can't answer that. Are either of you two hearing him?
No. Don't hear him, don't
Nope.
see him.
On the bottom there on your buttons, are you guys displaying your camera and your microphone? I'm just making sure. And everybody has their speaker on.
Yep.
We didn't have these issues any time before. That's what's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a fresh link.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would make a difference. You made it this far for me to see. And the password will still be the same. If you go onto Discord, it should be there.
All right.
Popped out.
Yeah, because I mean, literally, it's the same we've used all previous times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? Plus. Anything on your end, Tomie?
I still don't see him or hear him.
He may have figured it out. But we will continue somewhat, and hopefully he shows up and we'll get him wired in.
Mm-hmm.
You guys sit down with Elise, and she lets you know that well, we're going to be taking a little walk here in a little while, but I'm going to make sure we're still waiting on a couple, or at least one other. Your friend Mug is showing up soon, I hope. But you guys spend a little time there. She goes, well, she gives you some information why she's sitting there. Well, when we went down in there, and she starts explaining when they got to the Moore house and they went into the basement. Well, when we went downstairs, that was pretty rough what we saw there. I can see why you guys came and got us. That creature. It was. Did you guys happen to notice it was chained up? Had a chain on its leg?
Which creature? There were two.
There was only one.
There were two. There was
were
one
two.
that was outside eating,
ghoul-
and then
the
there was
ghoul-
one.
Yeah, the ghoul is what we fought. He was the one.
I see him.
There we go.
Here we go. There we go. Huzzah. Gotcha. Can't hear you very well, Mike.
All right, well, let's get him in here and we will get him back with us so we can catch him up. Thanks for the patience out there in the Twitch world. Okay. That's a little
There we
better.
go. A lot better.
Yes.
Said Mike.
Ooh, excuse me. Well, you're on screen and we can all hear you now. Excellent.
Yay.
All right.
Round time.
Okay. All right, we'll catch you up to a quick version. You guys and I'll let you have an opportunity yourself. We reviewed what happened last session with going to the Moore house, escaping, one of the members dying, or one of your companions passing away. You guys went and got the guards. They came back and took care of things. And Sergeant Elise told you to come back and meet. She said, "Don't leave. I'd like to talk to you in a few days." And I think that was something she said. And you guys had a day or so to do things, about a day and a half. So, was there anything you wanted to do between the time you guys separated to the time the next day and a half later? Just to let you know, Bremer went back to Father Gregory's place and is now residing, at least bunking there right now, after he packed up Father Gregor's stuff and made sure it was kept safe.
It's not a bad idea.
Damaris went home and she has been
Coping.
I was trying to think worshipping at the Temple of Revelry quite a bit
Yes.
the last day. So, is there anything Mug might have been doing in the last day or so?
Want to go to
he
church?
Definitely is worshiping at the Church of Revelry.
Hey.
Okay, is there anything you were doing maybe to make coin or any money or anything like that? Or I mean,
the only thing that the skill sets that he has is either he could do some butcher work, he could gamble.
Yep,
I don't know how 50-50 that is. He could do some like small jobs.
I'm just saying, I was going to let you roll a 1d6 and see what you earned and however you may have earned it so you can have a little spending money.
Works.
I mean, if you're worshiping at the church, gamble.
Let's see how this goes.
I'm just letting you know you're going to win or lose. Just you get something for your efforts. Hey, not bad. 5 silver pieces worth of coinage, however you want to break it up. Think of it in copper and bits and so forth, as well as maybe a silver. That'll allow you to have some spending money if you wanted to go shopping for anything in particular before things progress. Bremer bought some clothing that weren't religious, full of holes. So just wanted to give you the opportunity before we progress too far. Or you can do that little bit of shot. As long as it isn't like a magical item or something extremely exotic or weird, you should be able to find it in town. So
I think I should be good so far. I think I got plenty from my professions and backstory.
okay,
so.
I just wanted to make sure if you wanted some armor or weapons or things like that along the way, you had an opportunity. So
I think I have. Yeah, I have hard leather armor. I should be okay for now.
okay, just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity, like I said. All right, and then sometime during that, a day and a half later, second night in the morning or afternoon, you get a message from Sergeant Elise to meet her back at the Fallen Soldier. And that is basically when you showed up. They had showed up at the bar and were just meeting Sergeant Elise. Is there anything, questions you have before we get back to it? No? Okay. Well, Elise sits there and says, well, we'll be going soon. We're going to go someplace.
Someplace.
So I hope. Well, the some places, some people want to meet you, and I want to talk over some things we found, but not here.
Private things. All right.
Well, you guys stumbled upon something, but well, why don't you follow me? I think they should be there by now. And she'll lead you through the streets of Grievings, and eventually you're going to end up in the I hate names. Why do I always forget them? What do they call it? You're going to end up eventually near the edge of the coins district, the merchant area. Through some back alley, and you guys are going to end up in a warehouse eventually, or going into the back door of a warehouse. Just to give you a visual imagery if you're on roll 20. Not quite as sunny as this, obviously, in the picture.
I don't see the picture.
Oh, I forgot to move you guys over. Sorry. Let me move. I moved over and forgot to grab you guys.
There we go.
That's the reason why we can't have nice things, Tim.
What was that?
I said it's the reason why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. But that gives you an idea of what you're talking, it's a warehouse. But I wanted to give you a little visual there.
Nice.
Just so you know, Elise is taking you. It's kind of switchbacking, like she was trying to avoid being followed. It's kind of obvious to some of you. And when she gets closer to where they're going, she's looking around, trying to. Let me move screens so I face the right one instead of looking to the side all the time. Eventually, she leads you into like the back door to a warehouse. But give me a perception roll, some of you, with a +1, since you're.
Yes. I've recently increased something, so I'm no longer super deaf.
Just a perception roll.
Yep.
9.
Well, Mug, you're taller than
That
most.
shouldn't be with a band. That should be 14. Sorry, but yeah, I forgot to take frightened off. Continue.
Yep. No problem. You're the only one who succeeded, so. You happen to notice that as you're getting closer, there's people around, kind of in the shadows around this warehouse. along the perimeter. You have a somewhat military background, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
They're well positioned for like sentries, but they're hidden in the shadows, kind of lurking.
Does it seem like that they're mainly just preparing for any sort of violence, or if they're preparing for an ambush?
It doesn't look like they're preparing for. It looks more like they're guarding.
Okay, so just
Sentry.
preparing for any sort of violence that may happen. All right.
But as you go into the back, Elise leads you eventually to what would be considered the office area. And in there, well, as you walk in, you hear somebody, you're finally here, Elise. And you'll see standing there. I just shared some stuff with you guys.
Whoa.
And sitting in a nice chair is another lady. And to give a description, you'll see a striking man with dark skin, darker eyes, and a smooth scalp. And a deep, well, he hasn't spoken yet. But you recognize him, or at least some of you may, who live in town, as one of the leading merchants in Crossings. Master Deun. And I don't have his first name in front of me. So. And sitting in the chair in his office, which, by the way, does not suit the kind of ambiance of the warehouse, it's much finer, is sitting the mayor of Crossing, Catherine Edgerton. Some of you from town may or may not know who these people are. I mean, not from town would not necessarily know who these people are, but Damaris, you probably definitely would, being in.
Yes, absolutely. And her face can tell, like, what are you doing here?
Any reactions from the rest of you since
Mug is just keeping an eye on the sentries, even though he's not there.
No, you're inside now, but you notice them outside in a few positions, maybe inside as you look around.
Yeah, so I'll just be inside or at least as best inside as I can be.
Yeah, you have to stoop down to get in the doorway here, obviously. And you're crouched a little or bent at the knee, depending on how you prefer it, just because of your size.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give a small salute to the two of them, whatever the local salute may be.
Bremer, what are you doing? Owen?
He'll be standing up as tall as possible.
All right. Elise, I see you brought your friends. And that is Catherine speaking. Sorry, I don't do a female voice real well, so I apologize. So these are the ones who found that place. Well, introduce yourselves. I'm Catherine Edgerton. And this is Master Dream. And she's looking at you. I'm having a hard time hearing you there, Jordan.
Is that better?
Yes, thank
you.
I'm Mug, former soldier in, I don't know what army out of character, but it should be recognizable to them at the very least.
Or, yeah, if you were specific to an army, but the orcs were previously an enslaved race not too long ago. Of the soldier, they were considered soldier slaves. For the most part. Not all of them, but for the majority of them. So.
Yeah.
So, They would both nod.
Damaris Isaac. Are we just doing names? You just did names and didn't mention that you were, the mayor of here.
And she just said name so far. But if you
Damaris
say
Isaac.
that, she says, yes,
She
I'm the
literally says
mayor.
that, yeah.
Yes, I am the mayor. Obviously, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard not to be known when you are the mayor of the town. But
Yes.
please have a seat, each of you. Or, I'm sorry, we may not have one large enough for you, Mr. Mug.
I'm gonna opt to stand.
I think it'll be fine if she just sits on the dwarf's lap.
I would crush your lap.
I can imagine. Well, Sergeant, the mayor looks over at you, Catherine. Just kind of, well, as you will. And she points to a decanter on the table that's kind of there in front of you. I'm thinking, and a nice amber liquid is in there with some crystal glasses near it. Well, the sergeant says that you guys might be able to help us, but you seem to be able to sniff out that creature rather quickly. We would like to offer you, well, first, what did you see there?
I've never seen anything like that in my entire 20 years. There was bodies everywhere. There was that thing. And then there was something else. We didn't quite see it, but we heard it. And it was definitely coming for us.
So there was something else. Looking over at Sergeant Elise. Earlier it mentioned that they had found the ghoul there, but it was actually chained, its leg was chained. So it wasn't able to escape the room.
There was something else was it a safe or there was something in the middle of the room and I heard it moving around inside of it and the door was open, but didn't get to stay long enough to see exactly what was in there.
It's probably best because you would be probably like your companion. Did you know him well?
Not at all. Meanwhile, she's going to pour everybody a drink.
Yeah, we had just met before that.
Well, it was kind of... Well, I was hoping maybe we could find out where he was from to at least let people know.
Student of an academy or a student?
We'll figure it out.
Some wizard academy somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys hearing? I live next to a high school, and it's their homecoming today, and all I'm hearing in the background is fireworks behind me.
Yeah, I hear the fireworks occasionally, but it's kind of funny.
So they must have won or lost the game. I don't know anymore. I shut the windows so I didn't have to hear them. But she looks over at you. Well, we'd like to ask you to look into something else. Or maybe it's a continuation of this. Elise, let them know what you found when we were down there. And Elise stands up. Formal, she puts her hands behind her back in like a military stance and starts in a almost monotone dictation. We found the bodies of 6 victims and Father Gregor. And she starts listing off the dismemberment and other things, probably a little more detail than in Catherine eventually, the mayor eventually. We don't need those details. We will make sure that they are laid to rest and that place is cleansed. Well, but we found some stuff inside that, as you said, I want to call it a vault, but there was a sarcophagus in there. So there was probably something else in there.
Wasn't there probably, but...
Well, considering what may have been there, I can't completely account that you may have been stressed in seeing or hearing or imagining things. But the thing is, there was another victim last night. So I think you are correct. The thing is, we're trying to figure out what is that. When we went down there to investigate, we found various items, and she'll bring out and show them to you. Well, let's just say we confiscated these from the brown coats who are just going to throw them away. Somebody is interfering with the investigation of the brown coats. I can't figure out who it is. But there's something going on in the city for several years. Not sure. Me and Meister
What
Deun
is
have been
the
trying.
items?
Well, as you see her leave the room for a minute, and she comes back eventually. She'll lay down, or she'll set down a skull, and it is. Oh, what page am I on? Open the wrong one. It will be a skull engraved with several demonic and magical symbols.
I have that skull.
You have that skull?
I'll be right back.
I found an image online. We're not showing it online.
When she comes back, Mud would like to say, "Oh wow, you do have that skull."
I literally have that skull. So here we go.
Holy shit. Okay. Whenever they bring the skull in, Mug would like to be like, couple things. For one, possibly this thing was an undead, just like the ghoul down there. Two, when we got there, the rude boys were guarding the place, and their boss said that they had stationed them there. So it's quite possible we might get somewhere investigating them or their boss, or someone that may be controlling their boss.
That is a very good idea. There's several gangs down there, so they're just one of many, but that is a lead. But I don't expect it to go too far. Just paid people. She's mumbling to herself when she says some of these things. Like she's thinking out loud more than she probably should. But on
Vermeer is going to ask to examine the skull more closely.
Pass it over. He almost immediately grabbed it up. So here you go.
The skull was laying on top of a pile of clothing, but well folded, and it looks like nice material. When it's unfolded, it will reveal black robes with more magical symbols and such engraved.
I own that too. You're just in my closet.
Well, hopefully you don't own some of the next stuff.
Hopefully.
Boromir's going to try to decipher what some of the symbols, like symbols, do or
Well,
mean.
oh, hello, we got another one showing up. Just a second, Mark. We'll get you wired in here in a second. So, but let's finish this up here quick. Also, and then she will lay down a athame, a dagger.
You don't have
Do
that.
you have that, Tomie?
Not that specific one.
This thing, it is made of. It is an iron dagger. So none of you are Fae, correct? So we didn't have iron allergies.
Hopefully.
No, I'm very glad that I didn't go for fair.
But it is a solid piece iron dagger. Catherine looks over at you and says, I did have them checked. None of these are truly magical. Just for show.
Oh.
But there was
So
one
those would
thing
work
that
Sorry.
there was one thing missing from that room that we could not find, or at least evidence of. That was a book. It was clearly something was on a stand there, because there's a clean spot where everything else is dirty around it. So either what was down there took it with it. We also noticed that the vault had been broken into, not out of. Was there anything else you guys saw there? Yeah. I'm going
No,
to mute
not
this.
really. There was a bunch of rotten things. There was a bunch of rats. We didn't exactly really think to explore more. We just went straight down there, kind of. Almost like we were drawn.
Drawn by the smell of rotting flesh in the walls.
I'm not proud of that one.
Okay, let's take a quick 30-second pause here while I take care of Mark. Mark, did you get a character taken care of?
I gotta go for the 30 minutes or whatever.
Oh, yeah, you got to take off? Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Hurry back. I'll mute you. Yeah. As long as, I mean, if you can tell me a race or just a name, and we can get those. And we're not going to be doing too much combat tonight, so you should be fine. So
that's for sure.
So as long as you can get me at least a name and a race, we will be fine. If nothing, so we at least can describe something to people. And I'm getting Mark set up so you guys can hear him too.
Okay. The name and the try to find the. Oh yeah. Races for ancestry, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Terminologies.
Okay. My character is, as always, is a human, and his name is Andutarum.
Give me how do you spell it? Andu?
Yeah. ANDU.
That'll work for right now.
Oh, No, like a
I'm just trying to put a
TAR.
name on the sheet. So Andu, unless you got a full, unless that's a just so we can call it first name, unless you got more of it.
Hold on a moment.
Definitely when we take one of our longer breaks, I'm gonna make me something.
If you want to take a quick couple seconds right now, I mean, well, we've been about an hour. We can go. Yeah, give us a few minutes when we get Mark settled in here and caught up at least, and then we'll take something. If you need to take one while we're doing that, or at least start it, go ahead.
Alrighty. I'm just gonna toss some ramen in a pot.
That's fine.
Boil some water.
Yeah, I can. Oh, he turned his own camera off. All right, Mark, is there anything you need me to help with right now? I see you're muted if you're trying to talk to me. Okay.
Sorry, Tim. I was preoccupied. What happened?
No problem. Nothing. I just wanted to say, is there anything else you needed to help me to help you with right now? Otherwise, we're just going to leave Andu as the name, and you're a human. So we'll catch you up here quickly if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you give me at least a little insight of what class or background you're going for? Are we still going with the mage?
What was that?
Are you still going with the mage or
Yeah,
other?
yeah, I'm going with a mage.
Okay. It just lets me know how to kind of bring you into the group since you're coming in new, because we just got Yep. So I'm going to introduce you then here shortly. Just to catch you up, you had some after the events of last session. The remaining, the surviving members were asked to meet up with Sergeant Elise again, and Sergeant Elise has led them to a warehouse in the Coins District, which is the merchant area. And you are meeting with the mayor and a affluent merchant in the town. And they are just discussing some of the stuff they found previously in that vault room. Okay. Anything else and then from there, I'll be bringing you in shortly. So, all right. Is there anything you have questions on that you need answered before that?
Oh, you were asking if I had a question?
If you need any more information about what happened previously, otherwise I'm going to try to bring you in so I don't have to.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead and get me up to speed of what happened.
Yep. Basically, that's what. The events of last session. Okay, so I'm going to bring you. As you guys are sitting there in the warehouse office, the door shuffles open and one of the, well, you don't recognize him, but looks like some sort of guard also brings somebody in. Do you have a description of Andu?
Oh, the description.
Otherwise, human male, I assume, at least.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'd say he's a human. Fair skin.
Tall, short, fat, skinny. Just an idea.
He's plain.
Okay, fairly average and everything then. I mean, when you say plain, that's usually what I'm thinking. All right. Well, you see Anu walk in. We'll come up with an actual escorted by a gentleman. So, and the mayor, Catherine here. Are you in roll 20 yet? I'm gonna re-show some of this in case you missed it. Sergeant Elise, we don't need out. Green.
Okay, much better. I couldn't. I was. Yeah, my audio was off, so I was. I had a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That makes a difference. All right. So, quick review is Andrew has been asked by a member. Well, I don't know exactly your background. He's been asked to assist in an investigation with his as part of his mage training or assisting local governments. I'm trying to think of an excuse to have you there. So,
Mm-hmm.
We lost someone with magic. We need someone with magic
yeah.
because we got weird occult things now. Skulls with carvings on them.
Yep. And when you get there, you'll see on the table, I'm gonna pie a skull, a dagger, and a set of robes. Do you see them if on roll 20?
Okay. Oh yeah, very very nice.
In fact, Tomie actually owns some of them, she says.
Yes.
The skull was floating around. And the robe. You went and got the robe too?
Now we got the robe. I can
Nice.
hardly see. There it is.
Yeah.
And the skull.
Yeah, and
I
the
don't have that
skull.
knife. I can get a knife, but I don't have that knife.
Yeah. Description, basically the skull is filled with demonic and magical symbols, but it is non-magical per what they've been told. The robes, fine quality, black, nice satin silk. I pick a material like that. Engraved and embroidered, obviously worth a lot of money, but once again covered with demonic symbols, pentagrams, pentacles, whatever other symbols. An iron dagger.
I think actually Burmir currently has this skull and is looking it over. Trying to see if he recognizes any of the symbols.
Without a magical background, probably not. And even if he does, he would just recognize them as nonsensical. They'd make no sense. They're just kind of obviously there for a visual.
Like they had said, just for show.
Yeah. But the more the gentleman who used to own the Morehouse was a demonologist.
Mm-hmm.
As she continues. So there may be some purpose behind this stuff, but we can find nothing. But what this leads me to is I've been investigating, and this is once again the mayor. There seems to be some heavy cult activity that. Oh, just a second. Was she the worshiper? Let me quick on her bio. Oh yeah, okay. She's more of a follower of the old god, if you would recognize symbols that she's wearing, a holy symbol. There are many, I believe there's a cult in town or in the city, has been for years influencing things. They weren't always this bad. Looking at the records years ago, this was not such a bad place. Things have been happening. And now this. some sort of serial killer on the loose.
Well, yeah, someone had to. Oh, never did catch the person who was running around disemboweling people in the streets, taking organs. Was it a liver?
Mug would respond, yes, it was the liver, since he's our butcher.
Mm-hmm. So
And
snatching them, bringing them to a basement to feed them to a ghoul.
I don't know if they were. Well, that's the thing. You said they had cut up the person and took out the liver.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it was kind of hard to figure out what was missing from those corpses, if anything. But Father Gregory was missing an arm
And the leg.
and leg. And what we could make sense out of him is something was taking parts of him and using him. I don't know how. He just something about stitching up and taking off. He's mad, so
What was he saying?
clip, snip, stitch, stitch. I feel the pain, it rips. All words. We were trying to make sense of it all.
Someone
But
taking body parts and organs of things and making a new thing?
and he was repeating words we can't understand.
Like another language or just
Yes, and
mad rambling?
she will repeat a few of them, and she will some scribbled notes that somebody obviously had taken of things he had said. Nothing makes sense. Describing chopped up people and thing. He was just the pain, describing pain, and I'm trying to figure out what a mad person would be trying to do under that much stress. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was not doing well, and there was nothing really obvious.
Is there any hope for him?
Time will tell. I don't think he's going to recover, obviously, from the physical damage. Mentally, we can only hope. He went through a lot. I don't know what he all saw. But he was a good man. At least he took care of the people in grievings, even though he did worship the new god. They're better than a demon worshiper.
Yes.
But Mug is back with his ramen.
Yay. We were talking about people ripping out organs in the middle of the street and
Dark
take body parts from people.
abandoned street, yes. And once again, I'll remind you that somebody was again killed last night.
Was it similar to the past night's killings, or was it different?
Well, we did look because of what you found the missing liver last time. This one was missing an eye and their right leg.
Very specific things they're taking.
It seems they may be taking body parts. I don't know anything about rituals, but it might be for that.
Oh, they're talking about stitch, rip, rip. So my assumption is they're taking body parts and organs and putting them together into something new.
Out of character Frankenstein, anyone?
Yes.
So, once again, Master Dean really has not said much. He's just been kind of sitting there watching you guys as you sit there.
Yeah, Mug just looks over at him because he's been silent this entire time.
And he looks at you. Yes.
Do you have any thoughts to throw into the pot?
Oh, were you referring to me?
No. He was asking Dr.
Master
Dreen,
Dean.
Master Dreen, who is the bald black-haired gentleman. Well, bald black gentleman sitting there. There's the show if you haven't seen him before, Mark. And Catherine, if you haven't seen her. He says, well, I've been assisting Catherine in her investigation.
That's me.
And
Don't tell
all I can say is there's some members I followed from my hometown to here.
What is your hometown?
I used to live in the 9 cities.
So you've seen this before?
Well, I said I followed cultists here. I have not seen this dismemberment and body snatching. But I believe there's... What's his name again? This is one thing I'm bad at, is where I wrote down names. There is. Okay, well, I won't. Well, the name I knew him by was Patrick Kamal.
Mm-hmm. The name you knew him by, past tense.
Well, I am not sure if that was his real name. And he may not, and I'm obviously not using that name now, at least that I've found.
What about him?
Well, let's just say he was responsible for the deaths of several people in ritual fashion. One of them was my sister.
I see. That's why you're here.
Well, one of many reasons. As he looks around, I do own the warehouse after all.
Of course.
And he will describe the gentleman. I don't have an active description in front of me. But just if you do happen to see them, you should run. He's quite powerful. He's a powerful spell user.
Absolutely.
Unless you yourself know how to cast spells. And he looks at the 4 of you.
Not one bit.
Scrolls?
I have none handy. But you said you had a possible lead on some gang members. That might be one possibility.
And the ones who were watching that house. Rude boys.
Definitely something you would look at.
And as of course the brown cloaks themselves who decided to ignore the situation entirely until we
Well,
found out.
well, Sergeant Elise, obviously, but she's
Sergeant she's an exception. But the
well,
rest of them.
somebody is, well, it's grievings, as some people say. They don't care. That's not something, rich or poor, they are all citizens of Crossings, and I'll take care of them all. The poor need our help the most. The rich can take care of themselves. No offense, Master Dream. As she swirls her cup of fine cognac that was poured out of the decanter earlier. I have seen signs for several years here of corruption. I cannot quite catch or find proof against some of my own council members. We're obviously influencing the brown cloaks.
So you suspect your own council?
I suspect members on the council have their own interests to protect. One in particular would be Ambrose. And he
Ambrose.
he's a businessman who runs probably one of the better brothels in the area. The Temple of the Gilded Purse, right outside the Temple District, So you've probably passed it a time or two on the way to Revelry or the other places of worship.
Yes.
His arguments with Father Paulus are quite famous. They've been known to hold arguments across the street since the temple to the new god is right across the street, basically.
Of course.
And in council, the arguments are quite famous and have attracted some shows when they argue on the street. Who here is possibly a criminal or has a criminal-oriented background? Roll a intelligence. I think that's what it would be under on this.
Where'd my sheet go? Okay. Close that, close that, close that. Close that. There. Here.
Tamaris, you're a criminal, apparently.
Shh. I don't know that yet.
You roll.
She's just crazy. It's fine.
She hasn't shown crazy yet.
Intellect? I mean, she kind of laughing a lot last game. Intellect, you said?
Was that the term they use in this game?
Yes.
Yes.
Boom. That is it didn't roll. Oh, there we go. 9 again. No.
Then you recognize the name for some reason, but it's like an itch in the back of your head, just like there's more to it. You've
Which
heard
name?
something. Ambrose.
Aside from owning the richest brothel in the area, there's something else.
Yeah, you recognize the name enough, and this is fairly, it has something to do with the guild.
Gotcha. I mean, fair.
Yeah. I mean, but a lot of business owners do, in one sense or the other.
Xandu
And-
also a criminal?
Mark, if you're muted.
Oh, yeah. And Dutarum gets a 13. I'd forgotten for a second there.
You would know, since you're also, I believe you said you have some background in criminal.
Oh,
Oh,
that hurt.
Do you have a criminal background?
did I intend that for my character? No.
Okay, then
They
that
don't
roll would
say that roll.
then that roll wouldn't have mattered, unless you, because it would be something criminal related.
Mhm.
Would I have had run-ins with certain criminals in my gambling days?
You may have, and you know that he runs a brothel, but it's also kind of got a gambling house there with it too. You know, as part of it. So card games do go on there and stuff. So you know that he is probably a member of the guild, which is the criminal organization in town.
Yeah.
But
Other than that, it's probably all Greek to me.
yeah, you know he's a businessman, so
Yeah.
with a nice shiny finger ring that somebody kisses every once in a while. The Godfather.
Cool.
Oh, I'll be back in one moment.
All right. Well, she okay. I'm going to go back to Catherine
Mhm.
and Edgerton, the mayor. She's looking at you. Well, I would like you guys to investigate looking into the matter of these cults, along with this murderer, if you can locate them. I think they're related, so you find one, you might find the other.
Of course.
They may not be, but there is definitely something that was in that house. Somebody broke into that safe, and it was recent. Our vault.
Is everything still there? The sarcophagus?
Well, other than these items here and the bodies, I mean, we did remove this people for proper burial.
Of course. I meant in terms of objects and
Well, you're
everything
free
else
to go
aside from
look
the.
to see. I mean, Sergeant Elise has been there and checked over after the rest of the brown coats left. And is Damaris holding the skull like that?
Literally doing this, yes.
Okay.
It's weird.
Tiny one, you do seem quite enamored with that skull there.
Well,
It's very nice. See?
I would say
Catherine
careful.
just waves. If you guys want them, I would not recommend wearing them or displaying them in the public, but if you think it would help you in your investigation to have.
In terms of pretending to be a cult member to potentially get access to things, it helps to have robes and paraphernalia.
You mean you have access to robes? Those most likely cannot fit me.
We can make some. It has a
Really?
pattern to it, so we can make it.
Are you a seamstress?
An apocalypse cloak, isn't it?
I know people.
Well, if you guys can think of anything else, if we find something else to provide you with information, we'll either have the sergeant find you or, well, probably the sergeant is the best. Since you
Yes.
know her and I trust her as much as you can trust anybody, more so than most. Or at least he mumbles. And she's like rubbing her head. You can tell she's very stressed and has not had much sleep.
Same.
So she says, "Well, I should really be going after you." And she points to the door with you guys. Sergeant, would you make sure that they find their way elsewhere?
Thank you for meeting with us.
Oh,
That was the nicest way of hearing him say screw off.
Exactly. Be sure they find their way elsewhere.
Pretty much.
and she, as you guys are leaving, you notice she stands up and last one out might catch her hugging Dreen.
Aw.
Oh.
And you hear almost like crying as you leave and screaming, just like stressed.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Crying and streaming stress. Fantastic.
And what are you guys doing as she at least escorts you elsewhere, basically out of the building, and heads back towards the. She's well. I'm heading back towards the what is it? Forgotten Soldier
Bar. Tavern.
Tavern. I have other
There's
business I'm supposed to
Forgotten
be
Soldier.
attending. Maybe since you guys first got to the tavern and walked here and back, it's probably been it took probably about 30-40 minutes to get across town where you needed to go. And she took you a slightly longer way, obviously, to see if there was anybody following, which there wasn't, at least that you're aware of, or she was aware of. And what are you guys doing? Since I know where Elise is going, I want to make sure you guys.
Well, we have a few options.
And it's about 11:30 at night, just so you have a time. And
It's 10:20 on my end.
we're referring to
Game.
in-game.
Well,
Oh, my bad.
considering
problem.
the time, it wouldn't hurt maybe to.
And it's raining right now.
It probably wouldn't hurt to check out the brothel/gambling den, considering the time of day.
But for what? What are we looking for exactly? Just to talk about how he might be a traitor or cultists, or just look for cultist stuff in there?
People in gambling dens tend to talk more than they need to.
What are you going to ask about, though?
I'll just probably ask around, see if they've heard anything weird.
About more
Right.
murders?
Well, not explicitly saying the murders, just asking if they've seen or heard anything recently.
It is a big city. There's a lot of things happening all the time. So
True. Could
you
get
have to narrow it
information.
down.
I just don't want, if I go there or we go there, for someone to get suspicious. More so than they already would be, seeing me, you, and if the others come, well.
A fun time. So just go there and just ask around about stuff.
It's not a bad idea, but if we have any better ones, we might want to do those first.
There's the other abandoned places, but I don't want to run into anything dead and walking in there as well.
Well, we now know to run away.
Well, run away if you find the guy that apparently killed Master Dream's sister.
Yes, which I think we're all in agreement that it's possibly that thing within the vault.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I want to see the sarcophagus they apparently found in there. That's why I asked if they moved it.
They might have moved it because of the tampering of investigations and shit.
They didn't say they moved it. I kind of
True.
want to go in that vault and see
Well,
what's in the
if these are
vault.
questions you thought of before, you can go ahead and ask them as if you were there earlier. If you're thinking them as you're doing now.
I mean, sure, because you literally asked, like, did y'all take anything from the vault? That included the sarcophagus, the vault itself.
They would have responded, "Oh, only thing we took were, well,
For these?
these items were obviously the key things that were there, but I mean, there were some other random stuff. These were the only things of interest or of value that we found after after others were there.
Mm.
Luckily,
Others who also took stuff.
Sergeant Elise was able to acquire these before they disappeared too.
Right, other people took things. Black market. See if anyone's selling anything, actually. Try that.
But the only thing, like say the key thing, another key thing, and I can't remember where I mentioned it because that would happen 10 minutes ago. Oh yeah, I did mention the fact that they found a place where a book was setting, or what appears to have been a rectangular
you
shape
said
on a
that.
book stand. Yep.
As like, we can see if anyone's selling anything recently that may seem kind of suspicious.
Now you guys have a couple of days of randomly being able to do a few things, so you can think of a couple things to do. So
Well,
Creating
it might
a
be
shopping
nice
list.
idea to check out the black market, as you were saying.
Yep. So brothel for a fun time, and I guess gambling, and also I guess information collecting if we get there.
You're more
Shopping.
focused on gambling and the fun time with that one.
Pardon me for a bit.
What else? Looking at other old abandoned places, because now they're all suspicious.
Potentially checking out the sarcophagus, even though we asked info from them.
Yep. Also trying to hunt down stabby guy who just eviscerates people on the street.
abandoned dark streets. Let's remind you.
Yes, abandoned dark streets. I could be bait again.
You just have a victim complex, don't you?
Yes. I like being rescued. So we could do that. So that's about 5-6 things.
Anything in particular you want to do first?
Horse.
Well, that's something
Can I
interesting to
quickly-
do.
Yes. That was the first thing offered, and you asked this person. So yes.
Okay. And we are the evening of the first night, or just after leaving the warehouse.
And we're in coins, so it should not be far.
Nope. We are, excuse me.
Oh no, grieving.
Grievings is where the murders were happening previously, or the abductions. I shouldn't call them.
And grieving is also where the Temple of the Gilded Purse is. So.
Yep, just on the between that and the Temple District, it says.
Mm-hmm. So collecting information.
What sort of information are you looking here at the brothel? And who's all going in? And what are you doing to gather information?
Well, I'm definitely going in. I don't know about our assassin. Um,
We don't have any assassins.
There's no assassins here.
she has the look of one. Okay.
There's no assassins here at all. We're gonna go in and have fun and talk to people. Maybe.
Maybe stab a little bit.
It's fine.
Okay, just because I need to know a couple things. Who has the robe? Who has the skull? Who has the knife?
I would like to think that this one took all of that. If
I
just the
mean,
skull.
she can't really carry all of it, but
I'll
someone else grab the
carry-
knife.
I have a pack, so I'll carry some of the stuff.
Fantastic. You put the stuff
Okay,
in there.
Just making sure you took it with you. Who may or may not have had it. So.
Whatever she couldn't carry, I would have put with me.
Did anybody take the dagger?
Yes, that goes in there as well. Probably not just walking out in the street carrying a skull, even though she'd really like to.
Yes.
We have to put it
And
in
to
a
make
pack.
sure that it
You.
doesn't.
This is a strange city, and it's a weird time and place. You know.
We were kind of specifically told not to do it, though.
Well, yeah, I mean
so-
that has demonic symbols on it, but talking to a skull, I mean, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
practicing your play. What is it, Hamlet?
Yes, absolutely. If it wasn't so
Yeah.
scratched up with.
To be or not to be, that's the question.
But yeah, all into his pack.
Okay, I just
Of
want to make
course,
sure we're
wrapping
taking it
the-
with you.
Wrapping the dagger in a rag to make sure it doesn't cut open my bag.
Fair.
Biggest thing to note on that dagger is that it is iron. It is not steel. It is not. It is a black, almost iron.
Huh.
And quick
I'll be-
question: what metal, or is there anything metal you might have on you, Mug or Damaris, since you've been to handling it so far?
Anything other metal?
Yes.
I have a sword, a battle axe, a couple javelins.
Okay. As you're trying to get the dagger into your backpack, there, it clinks magnetically to one of your sword or your.
Probably on one of my javelins, because my sword and my battle axe would be on my hips.
All right. Well, just use. I mean, whatever. It's magnetic.
Mhm.
Not great. Not like a rare earth magnet or something, but low grade. You can definitely,
This seems
better
to
than
have
the
a
basic
resonance.
refrigerator magnet, but not like a rare earth.
Yeah, that tracks. This seems to have a resonance with other metals. As he pulls it out,
A resonance.
as in attraction.
Oh,
Oh, sorry about that. I got held up with my
Fun.
sister being a sister.
No problem. But yeah, that's the only thing to note on that dagger, and that's probably the only thing to note on all the rest of them. At least as of right now, that you would be aware of. But no magic is coming off of it, as stated. At least that's what you were told.
Interesting. Very interesting.
brothel.
Yes.
This is a nice place. Well, it's in Grievings, but I mean, it's still a decent place, but it's, as the name states, excuse me, it is even, he treats it like a temple. In fact, there's a donation that you must make to get in.
Of course.
I'll make a tithing of 2 silver.
What is the tithing actually?
That's a good question.
Before we just toss coins.
I forgot the values in this town, so I think
There's
it's
silver, there's copper, there's gold, there's bits. Bits is lower than copper.
That's what I thought. And silver, it's 10 to a silver, right? Or is it 12? I'm confusing games. No, in Zweihander it's 12s. It gets even worse.
So
All
one
right.
gold crown's 10 silver, 1 silver's 10 copper, and 1
That's just the 10,
copper's
10,
10
10.
bits.
Yeah, 10, 10, 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 5 copper to get in. Just enough to, that gets you in the door, not gets you, so that at least proves you can pay somewhat.
Mhm.
Vermeer's not going.
That's opium prices.
What was that?
Vermeer's
Yeah.
not entering the brothel.
I have to look up some of the prices. I'm really bad at this game compared to memorizing. It's playing other games too much.
I mean, I have food and accommodations on my channel.
Oh, that's right.
As a comparison.
Yeah, 5 copper pieces is like a good drink. Spirit's common.
Mhm. Yes, let's make a donation to the Church of, I guess, indulgement would be the proper word.
And as you enter, you are seeing prostitutes, male and female, scantily dressed, if dressed at all. Some immediately come up to the male one. Well, you can pick or choose, but both come up towards you, male and female. Mug, they're a little hesitant with you, looking at the size.
He just gives a winning smile.
There's still a little fear in the eyes.
Just roll intimidation. Just by standing there in the brothel.
Oh, they're not intimidated because you're being intimidated. They're intimidated because what you might want.
Yes, exactly.
Because of what I might want or what I might pack. Yeah.
And to be honest, orcs have a reputation. But surprisingly, there's a large female orc prostitute there too.
Hey.
We are in a big city. Any services to all types. You can decide if she's good looking.
Mug has no problem with orcs. Mug has no problem with humans.
The humans have a problem with
You.
orcs, maybe. So, how are
Yeah,
you going about getting this information? I mean,
Damaris's goal is to figure out that piece of information that she lost earlier of what connection does Ambrose have with the criminal underworld, so that she could like hook that together.
Since you're in the situation here, and of course you will eventually see Ambrose wandering. There's like a balcony on the upper coming down from a stairway. He wanders down and mingles through the crowd occasionally, talking to people. You recognize some wealthier members of town, as well as some your background might give you military people, obvious what you might call criminals, or at least they give that intimidation aura of that style. But everybody at least is not being violent, seems to be having, at least at this level, having fun. Occasionally people leave, go upstairs. People leave, go in the back. You hear the rattle of dice and some cheering from another room off to the side. Few people sitting around the table with cards. It's a brothel with a little bit of a gambling house next to it.
think we all know where Mug is going.
Have fun.
Wish me luck. And he'll just
Luck.
walk off.
Okay. Too many things open and I buried my screen. Close everything. There we go.
Tomorrow's just gonna go carouse with the hookers.
All right. Damaris, eventually you will get an opportunity to redo your intellect check with a +1 boon.
Yay. Where you
As
at?
you start looking around, as you, oh dang, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong screen. Just a sec. Studio.
14.
Things start to click as you're wandering around talking to the girls and boys. You suddenly, it's almost like, oh, damn, that's right. It has been a while since you don't really hang down here too much, but the name is definitely recognizable now. Ambrose is probably one of the most powerful criminals in Crossings, handling much of the black market trades. He's part of the gambling, part of the prostitute. He runs a lot of this in town, not just here.
A lot of businesses.
A lot of businesses pay tribute.
Gotcha.
He does dabble. You guys are smelling hashish and so forth, or other narcotics in the area. There ain't much regulation in it, at least at some of this stuff.
Fantastic.
At least here in this place, but that's what kind of triggers it for you. With
It's
your
like all
own
this wealth and all these people here. It's like, that's why.
And as you're starting to indulge in a few of your own drinks, maybe some of your own habits,
Supply. Yes.
suddenly you have a little of enlightenment.
I know what this is.
So, yes, he is definitely into the very many criminal ventures in town. At least his name has been mentioned.
Cool. It's going to make it a bit tricky to do stuff.
Even amongst the crowd you hang with. So his influence over them is probably very limited. Those services may have been rendered for him.
Fair. Cool. I'm having fun over here. What's Gambler doing?
Yep, I was going to move on with that. How you doing, Jordan? Or Mug, excuse me.
I am finding an open table because there's probably a few games that are kind of full. I sit down, put a little bit of a bet in.
As soon as you start betting, one of the ladies comes over and she's snuggling up to you and look, and stuff like that.
Mike doesn't do anything too crazy, but he allows it.
She says, well, buy me a drink. She's trying to push getting some money and you to spend a little, If you ever been to a strip club or anything like that, you're familiar with how they may or may not push. If you're not, they do.
Yeah.
And it's the basic.
But I've seen movies.
Oh, yeah. Just a side note, I used to shoot darts a lot, and one of the bars around here at the time was a strip club, and that's where I usually, or bachelor parties, you end up at them occasionally. So, yeah. after
Mhm.
40 plus years of living around that, So. But no, it was funny when I used to shoot darts. They had the dartboard set up, and just right-handed shooter has to face the stage, throw you right off. So, but yeah, there's dancing going on. There's music being played, both organ type music. So what are they called? Not a piano, harpsichord, things like that. Musical instruments set for this kind of time period. People dancing or what is close to it and so forth. Definite party place. So how are you doing on the gambling?
That is a good question.
I'm trying to figure out what to have you roll for gambling. Are you trying to cheat or anything? You just straight up gambling?
He's just straight up gambling.
How much you betting? How
I
much
am
you?
betting.
They're really not seeming to have a limit at the table but nobody's betting ridiculous.
I'll bet like 2 or 3 silver.
I was just refreshing my mind. So yeah, this will probably fall under intellect then.
All right.
And I want you to take a 1 Bane.
Okay.
Is anybody watching what Mug is doing, or are you all distracted elsewhere? I think Damaris was the only one possibly there.
Damaris is the only one possibly there.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Vermeer didn't go in.
Yeah, I didn't
With
know.
Vermeer going outside.
Andu, what was? Yeah, I was going to get there. And what was Andu doing? Or Mark,
Yeah.
what are you doing since you followed along? Did you go into the brothel? Oh no, he said he stepped away or something. So, Bremer, what are you doing outside the brothel, or did you go somewhere else?
Is there anything interesting nearby?
Whoops. That should have been -4. So that's 18.
18 minus 4 would still be a 14.
So not bad. Not bad.
No, you actually win a few hands. So
I
you're
thought
not
my
doing.
ends wiped out. So I'm A-okay.
In the end, you end up winning about 1 silver piece after about an hour or 2 worth of coinage. And it's Bremer, as far as around here, this is the temple area. There's other brothels, taverns, other things around. This is later at night, so there wouldn't be many stores or something open. Most of it would be the nighttime businesses. If there's something
You'll
in
just go
particular
back
you're
to
looking.
the chapel.
Okay.
No. He'll just go back to his residence and go to bed.
Okay. Was there any? How are you gathering information? You asking any questions there, Mug, Damaris? How are you going about? I mean, if you did, I'm trying to figure out how we're.
While I'm gambling, I'm not gonna like explicitly ask things. I'm gonna try and do it like a roundabout way. I'll be asking, the guys next to me, the girl on my arm.
What are you asking? Kind of. I'm trying to get an idea of what you're asking. That
He's just like, so tell me about this place. I've never quite been here. What's the ins and outs? What can you tell me?
Well, this is a place where you can get the company and pleasures similar to the House of Revelry. Think of this as just an outpost for them.
Well, that certainly gave me more information than I had before.
I mean, if there's something you desire, and that's the young lady at your shoulder, rubbing her breasts against your big muscular orc arm, as you're sitting there. The guys are, well, I mean, It's a brothel. I mean, everybody, we gamble, we fuck, we drink. Then we go back to work in the morning and go home to our wives, whatever.
Go back to the old ball and chain.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I mean, you're not asking any specific questions, so it's hard to give you any
Yeah,
answers.
he's not trying to like. Yeah, that's
or
really
even,
good.
how are you trying to lead the conversation then? How about that?
He'll try to lead the conversation more towards our lovely Mr. Ambrose. Seeming like someone who's genuinely curious, not like someone who's investigating. But if they see through that, it happens.
I guess I'm trying to see how I mean, if you're just looking for general surface information, he's a great guy. He runs a wonderful business. He's just, he helps protect the people around here. You're going to get the lovey-dovey
general
goods. Yeah.
Wishy-washy, yeah.
The public image.
I'm trying not to like give myself away here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how. I don't expect you necessarily to go word for word role playing it out, just how you're going about it. So,
yeah, that's completely fine if he gets the wishy-wash, unless he starts like bribing people. He doubts he's going to get further.
Go ahead and roll a. I'm just gonna make you. Let's see if they don't have anything like a luck in here, do they?
No, I think the closest that would.
Give me a perception. Give me a perception. That'll work. Similar, close enough.
14.
You notice that they're beating around the bush on a few things. Some of them may know more than they're talking about. So you're not getting away with it. Roll me another perception just for the sake of it. This one's at -1 Bane. No problem.
Let me roll the d6 for that. Sorry.
Even with the d6, you'd still get it. So
no, I meant like. Okay, so
you still got a 14.
6, yeah.
So that's to say, even with this.
Nice.
You catch the lady at your arm making some finger signals to one of the other guys at the table. As she's looking at your hand.
My dear.
I'll let you do with that information as you will.
He's just gonna look at her. Look at his hand. Look at her.
Getting very fancy with your hands there, I say.
Yes, my fingers are just bothering me from massaging a gentleman earlier. You can see through this, so not a problem.
He is going to.
Would you like a massage as she tries to get behind you and, rub your shoulders?
As she gets behind him, even though he knows she's behind him, this doesn't go well. He's going to tense up very fast the moment that her hands touch his shoulders.
All you do is tense up? Where is your backpack and other things right now? I'm assuming at your feet or your side or something.
They are between his legs.
Okay, under the table. Okay.
And he is like, so how he has them is they're not like on the floor. They're probably at the top of his knees. That way he can watch. If that makes sense?
More or less. I don't know if there'd be enough room between your knees and the tabletop. You're probably straddling the table between your legs, almost.
Probably. He's mainly just keeping his bag in a place where he can watch it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Right in front of him at his feet, or right almost underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're traveling on a public bus. So she's attempting to give you a massage, but she's reaching up like this because she's actually, even sitting down, you're fairly tall and muscular, so she's not really doing a great job.
I'm assuming there's like waiters and waitresses around that would bring drinks. Or would it be possible for me to like hand her
wait.
silver and be like, bring me a drink, please?
To her?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sure. Right away. And what do you want?
A nice brandy.
Fine spirits. And
A nice
upcharge.
brandy will do.
1 silver.
Yep. That's exactly the fine spirit. But that's
funny because I was handing her silver anyways.
Yep. And she takes off to go get you a drink.
I'm gonna look at the gentleman she was giving hand signals to.
Mm-hmm. He seems to be a well-dressed 20-ish young man, beard, well-trimmed. Much better than I take care of mine.
Or mine, for that matter. But,
He looks like he's well-dressed. He's in nicer clothing. If you were to guess, he would be upper middle income, maybe low wealthy.
Is he looking over here now that
He's kind of following, his eyes follow the girl, but he doesn't really leave. It looks like, but his eyes follow her. You know what I mean? He's looking at his hand, but his eyes look at her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I've gotten the rat away for the moment.
Is that what you say?
In my head.
Okay.
I say that. That was just more so like a generalized thing.
Yep.
So I've won a few games. Some people are withholding information.
Well, they're not telling you everything they may know. So yeah, I guess that would be withholding.
Yeah. They're omitting things.
Yes. But you really hadn't asked a specific question, so there's a lot they could be jumping around. Damaris, are you having any luck out there? And what are you asking, or how are you going about it?
Oh, have they heard about the dead prostitute? There's Asa, who is the one who got kidnapped, and then there was the one who was found in the alley.
Well, yes, that's why we do. That's why we stay here most of the time. Is basically, and those poor people in the slums, and down there in that side of town, even though it's not that far from them, So, but yeah, I mean, we don't go out at night. But you should, they're definitely nervous about it. They've heard stories too. I mean, it's already been a rough city, but now people are going around and cutting people up, and they're making up, you hear rumors about how they've been carving symbols into them and exaggerated things,
She wants to know so much, just all of it.
Yeah. Rumors that were beyond what you're aware of, obvious, symbols carved into them, eyes gouged out on each of the bodies, or there were writings in blood splashed on the walls with demon symbols and stuff like that. But Elise and none of the other people mentioned anything like that. Even on the so unless you want to bring it up with them later, nothing's been told to you guys about stuff like that.
That's why she asks the prostitutes themselves, hey, there's fellow prostitutes getting murdered in the street. What do you know about that?
And that they've only heard a lot of rumors because unless they specifically knew the person, but neighborhoods are rough, but usually what they'll tell you, yeah, usually you just get beat up or maybe, well, somebody takes a free one.
Mm-hmm.
But to cut people up, that's just, I mean, they are obviously disturbed by the thought.
Have they, like, anyone maybe have been a potential victim that might have escaped, or
Not here at this place. Not the.
do they know of any?
They
Or
probably would.
stories?
Only a couple of people, maybe similar names you heard or similar stories. The two prostitutes in the grievings area down below. There was another one last evening, and that was somebody coming out in the smokestack area. One of the workers up there.
That's
So
that's way away.
yeah, it seems like, well, he's a worker, but it was in this general area, leaving one of the brothels, and she mentions one of them down the street. Since I don't have all the names.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing of particular interest without having a specific question in mind. You're not seeing anything drastic happening here.
Yeah, it's mostly just to see if they have any additional information about that. If not, then
Nope, not really. This
or
is
anyone
kind
looking
of
suspicious as she's asking these questions about these murders.
Or
like
you're not
looking
asking.
shifty.
You're asking them if they've heard anything, which would be rumors. So I don't see them being overly. And
Yeah, it's more like
are you
reading the
resisting
room.
Yeah, are you resisting the flirting? Are you flirting back?
Oh no,
Are you
absolutely flirting back 100%.
okay. So they're probably a little. I mean,
It's just weird because she easily switches from talking about people being murdered to yes, flirting. She balances very easily.
okay. I'm just trying to figure out how, if there's really not much information to be found amongst these people.
Yeah.
At this time.
Fantastic.
I mean, they once again they're sharing rumors. Obviously over exaggerated in some areas because you would have heard more from me if they were true. They would have been something mentioned. You would hope they would have mentioned at least to you.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where to get good drugs?
Anything in particular? One of them asks. We obviously. I mean, she says, "Well, I'm trying to think of what the. We have a little hash hut in the back.
Smelled it.
I'm sure if we look around, there's some more. I mean, Ambrose has everything. If you have the money.
Ideally, he should.
And I mean, if you have some particular tastes in something, one of them whispers in, there's always extra you can pay.
I'm trying to think of like anything specific that's not also a highly questionable preference. Rocket is gin, yeah.
No, and any. I mean,
something strong, something new. Do you have something new? Something I might have never heard of before.
Oh, let's see if I can find some.
It's a reason to talk to him too.
They don't have any in here, do they?
Something to give me the poison condition, please.
Oh, you would already have a few of that anyway.
Oh, yes, but still.
Yep. I'm trying to see if there's anything creative here. Anybody else doing anything while I look up some information real quick? Other than gambling, the lady who comes back eventually with your...
While she had been gone, I will... The guy that's next to me, not the rich dude that was having her watch my hand, but the guy that I've been talking to, I will ask him...
Ah, there it is.
Mug will just be like, so, I know I can't be the only one who have heard about this. The murders. I know Damaris has already asked. Maybe something on the gambling floor knows a bit more. What have you heard about them?
Well, I heard that they found them the other day when they raided the old Moore house.
Yes.
I heard they found a bunch of chopped up people, or well,
They
chewed
also
up
found
people.
Father Gregory in there.
Oh, you heard about it too then? Do you know, I mean, poor Father Gregory, I mean, and a man of the cloth?
Well, there was also murders outside of the Moore house. Body parts missing, from what I've heard.
Oh, murders happen down there all the time. Well, how do we know that, you know? You're saying that, oh yeah, I guess we did hear that there was somebody taking parts out of them. Maybe some occult ritual or something.
Most likely. There was
Or-
a prostitute or two recently.
Well, none of the girls here, I hope.
Well, hopefully not. Do you possibly know anything more? Somebody I can talk to? Because I'm kind of worried for my friends, so I'm trying to get more information to help protect them, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know much about them themselves. I mean, it's not like I'm the murderer. I mean...
Well, no, I wasn't insinuating that.
I mean, I wander. I mean, I go from here to my house, maybe once in a while to church. And
Well, now, sadly, the church is out of business until the new father comes by.
oh, what do you mean? Father Palpus is right across the street for the new god.
Oh, sorry. It seems the night is getting to me.
Oh, you meant Father Gregor. Oh, yeah, he runs the chapel there. Or used to run the chapel down in the horror district. Just to make it clear, there is the house of the new god, the big church, and he ran a chapel to help the poor down in the grievings district.
Yeah.
You're really not going to find out any real new information here, guys. I'm just to give you an idea. I mean, you can meet people, talk to Ambrose if you want, but overall, information-wise, you're not going to find anything at this time for what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But to answer your question earlier, Tomie, eventually, well, we do. I know of something. It's going to cost though. It's kind of pricey.
What is it?
If you take it just a little, you have to be careful. You get some really good hallucinations.
Really good hallucinations.
Well, if you take too much, you'll it'll be your last.
How much?
Well, we can get it to you. It's 1 gold.
Mm.
Maddening is what it's called.
Maddening?
Sorry about that. I got cut out.
No
Welcome
problem.
back.
Maddening?
Maddening. I mean, if you want something a little, less pricey, I can probably find you something. If you need to sleep.
Mm.
I haven't found anything just on drugs. I'm looking at kind of the poison sheet I found.
Of course.
I can make something up, but I don't think I would have anything off the top of my head.
I do remember in a previous campaign I was in, the DM had, I don't know if it was official or unofficial, but it was drugs.
I'm sure there is, but there's so many pamphlets and forums. I
Yeah.
haven't read through them all. It's just finding it.
It happens.
That's
Because
right.
there's I have the poison sheet, and I know there's some stuff under the scientific stuff.
Yeah, we can try and find the science stuff. If you like, later I can try and find that. And send
I
it to you.
have
We
them
have
somewhere.
those.
So it's just getting to them.
Oh, yeah.
But they will have something for you, Tomie, within reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how much you're willing to spend.
I have 3 silver. And 5 copper.
Okay.
If you need any silver, Mug has a bit. So
Slides up the mug and it's like, "Hi, do you want to help me buy drugs?"
Don't mind if I ask, tiny one.
They do mention that they do have something that'll make you feel good, but you got to be careful who you're with and what you say.
Who you're with and what you say. I need more information.
Well, it stops you from. You don't control what you say sometimes.
Release inhibitions. Got you.
And you might tell them more than you want. But you feel really good and you're happy.
Sure.
That sounds like a truth serum waiting to happen.
A happy truth serum.
And it will be 5 silver for truth poison.
May I have 2 silver, Mug?
I slide it over.
Thank you. Pop, pop, pop. 0. Add.
Yeah.
Where's the
Oh,
0?
you're easily influenced when you use it too.
That tracks
I
with
po-
truth serum.
Yeah. I posted in Discord for you so you can have the information.
Fantastic. Real question is, does she down it now? Or
Well, it would contain.
how many
It would
doses?
I'll give you 2 doses out of it.
Fantastic. So what she does do is she gets it, opens it up, and just like dabs a finger in and tastes it. Just off the bat, immediately.
Damaris! Damn it!
You feel a tingling sensation, and you feel your attitude improve. You didn't take what I would call a big enough dose to poison you.
Just a little dab, little taste.
Yep, just like I grew up in the 80s.
It works. It's not a lie.
And she's smiling a little bit. More than normal.
Mhm.
And now, are you sitting there with Mug after you purchased this, or are
Oh no, yeah,
you?
she did it right in front of him, like immediately
No,
right
you.
there when it was handed to her.
Okay.
Like,
So
"Oop."
now,
So him
Mug.
saying Damaris then was in character.
Yes,
Kind of alarmed saying it.
I was just
And
making sure it was real because you have to make sure.
well, Ambrose would not allow any bad product here,
It's always you have to always
but
be
you
careful.
didn't get it from here. Just remember
Of
that
course.
if they.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And you now have Damaris on one side of you and Mary Jane on the other side of you.
Mary Jane.
I couldn't think of a name.
Fair.
Mary Sue.
Why does that track for this place? I wouldn't be surprised if they had marijuana, or at least
They
Julio
do.
is very
It's back
good
there.
at marijuana.
Hashish. It's easier.
Hashish.
I'm pretty sure she frequents that.
Uh-huh. I mean, you can see obviously many people here are under the influence of one narcotic or alcohol than another. So
Did you want some?
he might have to take 2 doses at his size.
That, but also, I was about to say something, but I don't think his voice could get low enough or whispery enough to properly say something without Miss Mary Jane hearing. Maybe later. Yeah, actually.
Huh?
You feel a tingling sensation in your mouth, but once again, not a large enough dose to really affect you. More than nice tingly sensation and a slight mood improvement for a few moments.
Very tasty.
I wouldn't call it tasty. It's very chemical, but it does what it's supposed to do.
But I'm feeling really good right now. And then, oh, never mind. There we go.
That was quick.
My constitution is wild.
I mean, very fair. Did you find out what you wanted to find out?
Some things. Very
Some things.
little.
Well,
Also, hi. How are you, little woman that's next to him? Hi.
hello. How are you?
How-
Are you his girlfriend? I'm sorry. And he kind of.
Yes, but it's
I
fine.
don't have a woman. Oh, wait, never mind. Retcon, I guess I do. Isn't this exactly?
And they're both giggling slightly like they are right now. There's not much information to really find here. You guys can spend the night or spend the time you want here and doing what you wish to enjoy. But you're not going to find out much information. So,
I'd say definitely before we leave, or if we do leave, because I don't know if we're staying the night here. I don't fucking know. Mug will get some hashish to share with Damaris and whoever wants to smoke it with him after we leave.
To
I
go.
think, it's the opium. Excuse me, opium. Sorry.
Opium
Also,
is
it's
high
not hashish or weed. It's opium.
I have a price for it, but we can use the same price.
Fair. It's 5 copper.
Oh,
It's cheap
Drop a
perfect.
silver.
per dose.
Oh, per dose. Yeah. So yeah, 5 copper. That'd be, if it was 1 silver, that'd be 2.
2
2
doses.
silver for 4.
Yeah. So I'll drop 2 silver.
You take care of your math, and
Yeah.
take your 4 doses, whatever you want to call it.
Because we're going to
4
need it.
points.
I don't know if they give I should look into that if they give any sort of. I play a couple other games where narcotics and Zweihander in particular. Certain
They
drugs give you
probably give us like
benefits
a
and
bag,
bonuses.
and we have to get the joint paper ourselves. So
All right.
Reduce insanity temporarily.
Possibly. Let's take a quick minute break, or actually, we don't have much time left to go because I don't want to get involved too much with the next phase, but I want to start it.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to go
That's
to
fine.
the bathroom real quick. So let's take a quick
Okay.
couple minutes so I can not see my eyes, the water level floating through my eyes. So,
Hmm.
so I will be right back.
Oh, we're
And
not turned off
I'll
screen.
jump to the other screen so that people, if you guys want to jump off, we'll be right back, everybody. As soon
There
as
we
I
go.
find my OBS. Where's my OBS? There it is. Be right back. All right, we have returned. Everybody is ready. You guys have spent the evening in the brothel / gambling house / drug house, preparing for, well, investigating. I don't know how much investigating got done after a certain point, but it's the next day. What are you guys doing for your investigation or follow up? Or anything else? And that's for all of you to answer, not just the two that were at the brothel.
Yep.
Bermir, your turn. What are we doing?
Bermir's going to go see Father Gregory in the
Father
asylum.
Gregory's- Is he alive?
Yes, he's alive. He is in the asylum, ranting madly. So let's go listen to mad rants.
Let's just hope he's okay with me. Because I know he saw me already, but he's out of his mind now.
He also can't really move, so
Yeah, I know that. But if we cause a ruckus, they're probably gonna tell us to leave.
well, ideally we shouldn't cause a ruckus. We didn't hurt
I
him.
mean, like unintentionally.
Bermir's not
You're-
going to cause a ruckus.
So yeah, visiting Father Gregory.
The asylum. Oh, let's refresh my name again. Something of Mercy. Mercy Hill Asylum. It is, of course, sitting on the upper on a hill in the town. It's in the Grievings, the poor district, once again, because you wouldn't want that in the wealthy district.
Of course.
It is a gated, walled-in area. The facilities building looks large mansionish, but definitely old, run down. As you're getting closer, you're hearing screams, wailing, laughter, people yelling, mostly nurses and stuff. Stop that! Or male voices as you enter towards the doors.
Mhm.
There seem to be people just wandering around in the area between the fence and the house. I just think of it as a large fenced in, and there's a house building in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what a larger building, almost prison structure, but it's
Yeah.
built to look almost like a residence, not like a institutional facility. At one time, it may have been something else. It is not pleasant when you walk in. You can smell body odor, feces, the general disgust of ill health and sickness.
We've smelled much worse than this.
Yep.
There is, well, what appears to be a nurse or a nun, almost a nun looking in an outfit. God of Mercy, the new god. Can I help you? As you
We
guys
are
enter.
here to visit Father Gregory.
Ah, poor Father Gregory. He used to come in here and help us take care of the people, and now he's here.
Now he's one of the people.
I don't know how responsive he's going to be. They've been keeping him well medicated.
They've been drugging him up very well.
I hope so.
But if you want to see him, I don't know if he's awake. And she'll eventually lead you down corridor. I mean, I do not know how to describe the inside of a mental hospital in this time and age, but it is pretty disgusting. People not well kept, dirty, filthy, screaming, running down the hall. I mean, use your own imagination of what you might think a semi-chaotic medieval asylum would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eventually you get to a room/cell. Father Gregory is strapped down in a cot, and he's just thrashing, even though he looks like he's well sedated. His eyes are barely open, and he's moaning.
The man's having seizures.
It appears they've cleaned him up, at least. His wounds are rebandaged that you saw previously that had been crudely just covered up. Looks like they may have had to take a little bit more off the leg.
Probably because it was gangrenous and infected.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I'm glad somebody at least comes to spend time with him. I'll wait outside here if you would like. Just don't want to leave you here in case somebody gets too unruly.
Well, that's the least we can do. We are the ones that found him.
Oh, it was you guys. Thank you so much. I'm glad you found him alive. It was so bad about the rest of them.
Yes, it was a very horrifying ordeal. We lost one of our own. Didn't know him that well, but it's still saddening.
Father Gregory, I mean, what are you going to ask him? He's going to be laying there and just kind of spacing out, groaning every once in a while, occasionally shouting a scream. Nothing coherent, at least at this time, but you're not directing any questions at him.
Bermir's going to go up towards him. He's going to say some dwarven words. And is just going to say calm and just put his thumb on his head. And calm now. And tell me about your life
Okay.
up until the incident.
Is this a spell, an item, something just
Nope.
you do it? Just okay. I'm just I'm just making sure that there was nothing else involved beyond the hand signal. He looks at you and just unrecognizing. And he's like trying to talk, but he's not. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I can't do the face real good because, yeah. And occasional words come out, but it's not, it's like the pain but he's groaning and moaning. I can really nothing coherent of any information. It's almost like he's trying to talk, but not making any real words.
I do have a question. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So he's saying the pain, and it's obvious his wounds are still healing and not fully like closed. Would it be possible to help his healing process and to help maybe get him back into some semblance of being able to talk, for me to pour a potion down his throat? Because I have at least 3.
If you choose to use the potion, I do not think it would help his mental state. His physical state, yes.
No. I know exactly what we need, but I can't remember where to find it. Oh god.
Oh, there are
It's
things you can
running.
do, and they're trying to treat him, but he's had a lot of trauma in the last few days, so.
He mainly just needs time.
And
but the potion
Yeah.
can help his body, not his mind.
Oh, where is it? We need 5 silver pieces to buy that thing.
By what thing?
An incantation for cure.
The spell.
I'm gonna
Oh,
just to help him along. Sorry.
Oh, pardon me. I'll have to use the bathroom.
no problem.
No problem.
Help
But
along his physical state. I know he's gonna need some time to heal mentally, and then we can come back at a later time, try and get more info out of him, because he's not able to talk right now. But the pain is just making it worse.
I mean, he's occasionally ranting phrases, you know. Once again, you hear the clip, clip, snip, snip, stitch, stitch.
I'm going to sit down next to him if there's a chair. If not, then I'll kneel.
And he's looking at you, Mug. You're 9 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm
3.5 feet wide, if not more.
Yeah, I know he's very scared of me.
His eyes are like this. I mean, but he's staring at you, and he obviously can't move. But go ahead, sorry. You kneel down by him.
We're good. He's gonna kneel, and because he doesn't want him to choke on this fucking thing, he's going to like place a hand under his head and lift it a little bit and pour the potion down his throat.
Are you saying any calming words or anything to
It's going to be all
help?
right. This is a healing potion. Already been to pain. It can't
Just
feel
for
good.
sake of giving you a roll, I'm going to have you use a strength roll right now.
Strength roll.
With a +2.
17.
+2? Yeah,
Yep.
17.
Not a problem. It was basically to hold him as he's trying to get away from you, as he's.
I basically just like on his head.
Yeah. Hit him in the
Just
jaw. Yeah.
Put your shit, little man.
He chokes and sputters a little bit but reflexively will swallow it. Especially when you cover his mouth so he can't. But you can see that he relaxes after a moment or two. At least you can feel the tension somewhat ease out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Back,
yeah, and he'll close his eyes and rest, or at least seem calmer. He's not thrashing, and
Yeah.
he's
He's
still
at least gonna be able to
moaning.
get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, he's still like moving around and chattering. He's obviously disturbed, but he's not. And you see the sister Sue pop in. I'm giving her a name.
Mhm.
What did you do? He sounds so much better.
I just gave him one of my potions. I have a couple extra, so I was
Oh,
trying to help.
You are a saint, sir.
This man has been through way too much. He deserves some rest.
Well, I thank you very much. If there's anything we can do for you guys to help with, I mean, he was been here for like a day, but I already told the brown coats what he was saying. Brown cloaks. I'm going to get it wrong every time.
And what was he saying?
He was just rambling up various phrases that made no sense earlier. They couldn't get any real thing. He mentioned there was two. That was probably about the only other note. There was two down there, which you guys confirmed earlier.
Yeah.
To the
Our encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else in here that's been reciting things similar to what he said? Does anyone here likes to draw demonic stuff?
Are you asking the sister that?
Yes.
Well, yeah, there are some strange ones here. I'm not sure if they're demonic, but they definitely draw some weird stuff.
I would like to see drawings, please.
They use their own feces or blood sometimes. We try to keep them restrained when we can. They draw no matter what we do, though. So they're not given instruments to draw and stuff, so they use what they can.
I assume you clean them up then, or they're just left on walls.
Oh, of course. What do you? She looks shocked at the question.
She indicates the filth on the floor.
Well, it's still clean by they wouldn't leave just that sitting. They try to empty chamber pots and clean up, but they're short staffed. Well, that's why we tie them up, or keep them restrained so that they don't harm themselves or others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've been trying the doctors and the other have been trying some new procedures to hopefully calm some of them.
Like?
And what are these procedures?
Oh, well, they've been trying some different chemicals. One of them's actually cut open the skull and removed part of the brain that's supposedly causing these issues. It's quite fascinating.
I hear there's a new craze.
Can you make sure none of that happens to Father Gregory?
What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had two of you.
None of the procedures happen on Father Gregory?
Oh, no.
No, he just got here a few days ago.
Oh,
We would
like make
only
sure
thing,
none
other
happen.
than making sure that he was not gonna rot. The rot that was happening was cleaned up and taken away. We've been he's a man of the cloth. He used to come here and help us. We try to take as best care as we can. That's why he has one of the better rooms.
He's basically just saying make sure not to let them happen to him.
Don't try experiments on him if you don't know that they'll 100% work.
Well, the doctors and surgeons obviously know more than me, so
I hear there's a new craze going about trepanation or trepidation, whatever the fuck it is.
I'm not familiar with the term.
You know, holes in the head.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, they've done that where they put the holes and they, like I said, the one guy was cutting out. I mean, I didn't get to see much of it. It is fascinating to see the insides of what, you know. She seems to be interested in medical. Also, besides this, they do some medical procedures, obviously here.
Mm-hmm.
Scientific
Experiment.
study. Depends on how deep you want to go down that rabbit hole. But the rest of the day here, if you guys would spend, you're not going to find out much from Father Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
No, Bramir's going to go start looking for a incantation.
Okay. There are places around town that you could possibly get stuff.
And it is specifically Cure, which is a rank 1 spell. Life spell.
What is it? Under what?
Cure.
Okay. Without having the prices up in front of me, unless you do.
I got it up in front of me.
And how much would that cost?
That's 5 silver.
Yep. It would not be a difficult spell to locate. You may have to talk to somebody at one of the churches or facilities since it seems to be of that nature.
Yeah.
But that can be how you spend the rest of your day locating it and finding it. What will the rest of you be doing after you leave the asylum?
I will say to the sister before we leave to, since we don't exactly have like a permanent residency here, probably she was a sergeant, right?
Sergeant Elise, yes.
Let her know to let us know as well if there's any update on his mental condition.
Will do, sir. And anything else you guys are going to do this day?
Since
I spend the rest of the day looking for Cure.
Yep. And getting it and
The
so
spell
forth.
that will instantly improve his mental condition a little bit.
a little bit. Since Burma's going shopping, Damar is also going shopping, doing that whole black market scrub of like, hey, has anything new and fun come in? Like, books. Or
let's give it an intelligence and how are you going about this to look and who are you asking, just to kind of give an idea. I know you got a criminal
her
background.
own connections. Her husband, maybe.
Okay. Ooh, now you found out she's married. Dun, dun, dun. And not to the orc boyfriend.
I'm just
Sorry,
a
I'm
side
cheating on
piece.
you.
Yeah.
I'm just a side piece.
Mhm.
Give me a +1 investigation. Not investigation, sorry. Intellect, sorry.
I got you. Intellect. Clicking. Where's the thing at? Over here.
You found it before? Or
There it is.
somebody did?
I have 3 screens. It just kind of hid underneath.
I got the same
For
problem.
you, up here. 11.
You found out there's some new stuff coming through, but it's not a book or anything it's more some newer shipment of illegal drugs are coming in, and some slaves have been noted to come in, even though slavery is illegal.
Fair. No occulty stuff?
If you're looking for specific items, you might find some items, but if you're looking for a connection to a cult, you're already in one.
Well, looking demonic occulty stuff. like not her culty stuff. Things that
Uh,
pertinent to the mission.
You would not find anything. I mean, you might find trinkets here, a spell there, a dark, you might have heard that they have some dark magic spells, stuff you shouldn't use, or ingredients used for potions or things like that.
But nothing
That would
that stands out.
nothing that stands out unusual. More
Okay.
so, nothing abnormal or came in surprised, just dumped,
Mhm.
especially of a magical or dynamic nature.
Yeah. Fair.
If you ask something about the Moore house and things like that, if you reveal any of that information in your,
Mhm.
you will find out that there were rumors that that he had several magic items there, supposedly, and people had for years been trying to locate it, but hadn't.
Yeah, because it was a demonologist's house, so obviously you would have some fun stuff in there.
Yep, and the fact that where you guys found things were behind a secret door that hadn't been open for years until something happened and so forth.
Which is why she went to the market to see if, like, did they take it and then immediately turn around and sell it?
Yeah,
No.
nothing new out of the ordinary or
So
of
that
unusual
clears that.
power or show. Yep,
That means people are using it. Great.
or at least not selling it here.
That was her thing.
Okay, Mark, you doing anything here? As far as anything you can think of? Since I hadn't heard from you in a while. You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh, hey there. I'm I'm still in the bathroom.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'm still listening. Don't worry.
No problem. All right. Well, Anu has disappeared on you, and he said he had to go to the bathroom. That was hours ago now. So if nothing else new or intended to do, we'll go on to the next day. I just want to make sure we cover anything.
Next day?
Well, you finish out the remainder of the day. Is there anything investigating you do? You had the meeting with the mayor the day before, the evening before. You went to the brothel. This is the next day. You went to see Father Gregory. Then you wandered off. Some people went shopping. Others went and did whatever they do, unless you have something specific. Bremer went shopping.
Smug doing something?
I just want to make sure you guys have the opportunity before I jump to the next day. If there's anything in particular.
I think we're good.
Dreamer does have stuff he wants to do, but he has to go back to the asylum and probably end of the day.
Well, at a certain point, they don't let people in and out because of keeping things locked and trying to get people.
Yep.
So
Bedtime for all the crazy people.
Yep, the crazy fucks.
Unless he wants to sneak in, but dwarf sneaking? What?
It is possible.
Sneak with a hammer to the door.
But needless to say, the next day, are you guys going to do anything in the morning that you can think of?
Yes.
All right.
Dreamer's going to go up to the asylum to see Father Gregory again.
Anybody going with him?
No, I have to go to church.
Okay.
True. I have to join.
You going to church?
I just had the stuff pulled up.
Well, then, Bremer, you make your way back to Father Gregory.
Yep. And we are going to use that incantation I just bought using his money.
All right. And what does that do since I don't have it up?
Okay. I'll have 0 gains on that roll. So I need to do an intellect challenge roll for casting through the incantation
Okay.
Hello.
first.
Hello. We got a burst of hello.
What does cure do?
Or what does the incantation do?
That's a 16.
Yep. Where are you? What is the incantation under? Just so I can take a look at it.
It is life is page 133 in the core book.
Okay. Life. There it is.
1, 2, 3.
And we're using it to remove 1 insanity from the target.
Okay.
A little bit.
Just a wee
1 out of
bit.
15.
Okay. He seems a little better. But there's a significant amount of insanity there.
Yeah.
And trauma.
Mhm.
Shit.
I
He
should've
was
kept
missing
them,
for about
just made
3
more.
days and he was found alive, so.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, he's definitely got some shit going on up there.
Mhm.
And this is the man of the cloth who's a strong will, who's supposedly very pious.
Yep.
Yeah.
New experience.
And spend like an hour or 2 talking to him and then leave.
He
Even
seems
if
a
it's just
little
one way.
calmer, definitely. Especially since Mug gave him a potion, helped the pain portion of it. And your little help here with the spell, he will definitely recover quicker. And
Mhm.
Sister Sue thanks you. Tells you what a
Uh,
good man you are. Even for a dwarf.
Okay.
what's that supposed to
Fucking
mean?
racism. Okay.
Turns that around.
Didn't say shit to me for being an orc, but the moment there's a dwarf coming in, oh
Right?
shit.
I mean, look at these walls. They're built like shit.
I had to throw
Um,
something in there. She's too nice.
Mhm.
No, just throwing some casual
Casual
racism.
racism. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, casual dwarven racism.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not good to say something in front of Mug. He'd just, slap.
My
I
slap
mean, the
would send
dwarf's
someone
fine with
Yeah.
massive
through a wall.
warhammer on his back.
Yeah. She says it under her breath, not that not out loud.
For a dwarf.
No, if
She
I
might
slap
have.
someone, they'd be going through the wall.
He'll also give over the other silver piece from Father Gregory's stuff. Might as well go towards his care.
Well, thank you. She goes. We will definitely make sure he gets his bandages changed regularly and fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
As
And he'll
opposed to that.
just thank and go off and continue with the day.
I'll say it's about noonish later in the early afternoon at most, after everything traveling and getting back and forth. The rest of you are done with your church service and get back. Later in the day, if you guys don't have anything planned, it's about 5 o'clock using, and because I went to the hassle of building the remote. Once again, it's a rainy day. Dreary day. About 5 in the afternoon. Where would you guys be, per se, on this day?
Bermir's probably in the chapel.
I just want to say if you were together or not. But eventually, I'm trying to think of whom it would be more than anything. Depending on where you are, Bremer, you would have a brown coat pounding on the chapel door coming in. Because that was a location you may or may not. Did you tell people that's where they would find you?
No, we've never told anyone
Okay.
where he is staying.
Well, they're the police. They can find you.
Yeah, eventually
Yeah, they
somebody.
probably could find me.
Yeah, all of you are fairly. And Sergeant Elise gave a good description of each of you and where they likely could find you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys get a message from a brown coat, cloak, yes, a brown cloak. Emergency, please meet Sergeant Elise at the mayor's office.
I'm working. She'll go.
Well, I guess we'll go to the mayor's office.
And this is meet Sergeant Elise at the mayor's office, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You were handed a note, it wasn't verbally given to you, just so you know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a permission slip.
Well, it was more. No, I can't state the reasons necessarily. But eventually you show up at there, and Master Dream is there also. Dream, yes. And he's pacing back and forth. And you hear the mayor as you walk in, just settle down. We'll find her. Be calm.
What's going on?
You know the Proud Boys you were. Oh, no, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Rude boys.
You know nothing. I got ahead of myself. Master Dream's daughter's been kidnapped.
Mm.
And they are. Let me get to the right page, because I moved too many things around. They sent a ransom note.
Of course.
There we are, Born to Die. Okay. She was kidnapped and they've sent us a ransom note. And her companion that was with her said it was a bunch of looked like the Rude Boys.
Can
They're
I see
asking
them?
for 100 gold to get her back, saying we
As if
owe
it-
them in the message. And they hand you a note.
As if anybody has 100 gold these days.
Well, I feel the one who
That's-
runs the market would.
I got ahead of myself because I'm using the wrong finance system in my head. 100 silver.
Oh, but
100. Okay, that's somewhat good.
want 10 gold.
Yeah. That's quite a bit of money, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's more reasonable.
Yeah.
So, what's the plan here? Are
Well-
we on a rampage? Are we meeting
Hey.
up with them?
Well, the note said to leave. Well, we're hoping you can find out where it is. And the note will say where to leave the money, which is, let's read it, demands of it. To get his daughter back, Master D must leave 100 silver shillings in the alley behind the old fishery brothel out on near the docks. Literally, it's the docks. This thing is like not even the fishermen go there. It's one of the lower brothels, for lack of a better term.
Well, I guess
So I've at
instead of
least-
silver. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I guess instead of silver shillings, they'll find a blade.
Well, we want you to find his daughter, or my daughter. Excuse me. I have to make sure I'm talking for the right person. I want you to make sure you find my daughter. The silver means nothing.
Fantastic. Can we use the silver as bait?
That is, I'm hoping you can put this, well, place the silver where they want it and capture them, get the
Mhm.
information from them, follow them, whatever.
Yes.
We can
If you get
follow
my
them.
daughter back alive, you can keep the silver.
Fantastic.
That is fantastic.
But if you don't, well, at least bring her back. I'm afraid of what they could be doing to her. She's a sweet, innocent girl.
We'll find her. All right.
And
Yes,
he
yes.
points to a
Sorry.
picture on the wall that is of his, well, excuse me, this is the mayor's office, not his. Never mind.
You could show a picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, would he, it's not like they have billfolds like nowadays. It was painting, not a picture.
Hmm. I mean, he's rich. He could have a small picture.
Yeah.
But he'll describe her if nothing else, so you'll see her. Here's the description.
Ooh.
And there. So, Candace is her name. She's Master Dream's only daughter. She's 16. And she went missing, kidnapped by a bunch of people. Her companion, her boyfriend, managed to get away.
Her boyfriend.
Well, male friend. Phineas is, his father's one of my subordinates. If you want to talk to him, I'll make arrangements to have him here or something shortly.
Yes. Given he was the last person with her.
Yes.
But his father was worried, so he went over to make sure father knew what happened. But I'll make sure that he's here shortly. And this is kind of where we're going to end it tonight, though, because
Yeah.
it's now 11 o'clock my time.
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. my
12.
time, yeah.
So I wanted to make a quick break here. But we will be starting the investigation into the kidnapping of Candace.
All
Starting.
right.
Fun.
You guys now have
Yep.
some back news on the cults, or at least that there's a cult acting in town and there was missing items from the thing. You have a few items. You made some gold. Hopefully you can purchase any other items you may need. I know some of you were lacking at the beginning due to finances. So
Still am.
Oh, I'm still lacking.
but at least we're getting the ball rolling. So is there anything we need to follow up on here for the session, and anything you need as far as information to make sure you got it clear or anything like that?
No.
I think we're
No.
good. I'm just ready for next Friday.
2 Fridays.
Yes.
Friday after next.
Yeah, let's see. And actually, after this weekend, I managed to get, well, that's every other Friday off, half day off for a while. So
Nice.
I can, boss is letting me use my vacation, so I don't get like last year, 4 weeks before the end of the year, and I have 2 weeks vacation to use.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Mhm. Well,
I've
this,
only just.
This is the first job in a long time I worked that actually had decent paid vacation instead of our PTO, whatever they call it now. Then, I used to work a lot of contract. Oh, you're taking time off? Well, you don't get paid. Different business, but we're yapping on stuff. Is there, people out there in the video land, we're going to be heading out of here real quick. I thank you guys all for joining me tonight.
Yep.
And you can say your goodbyes. I'm saying mine. Bye. But, anybody got any last words or want to say anything?
We'll definitely
No.
see you next time.
All right. We will see you guys in a couple weeks. You guys have a good night.